welcome our guest, the Reverend Richard Cole. Good morning.
Richard.
Hello, how's it going?
Lovely, thanks. Lovely to meet you.
Nice to see you. And we're stood up.
Yes,
I thought it was like a formal thing at first.
No, it's more practical than anything else.
Why is that, Chris, please?
Because of the big, humongous keyboard that you have in front of you.
We asked for a small little keyboard, Richard, and it's huge.
Do you want to tell the truth, Dom, about where this keyboard came from?
It's actually from Classic FM.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's actually Classic
Tell
FM.
the truth, Dom.
It's Eastertide. Let's keep it.
Well, they get bored there because all the songs they play are so long.
I know. They need the big keyboard, don't they? It's very nice, actually. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we've been told by Classic FM, and I quote, be careful with it.
Yes.
Is what they actually said.
They don't trust us, Richard.
I don't know what they think we're going to do with it, but it's lovely to see you. Now, I was thinking about this yesterday. I was doing my research on you.
Oh, blimey.
And then I suddenly had a mad thought. Have we met before?
I think we have, because I had the same thing. I think we met in, there's that place called Broadcasting House up the road where we both used to hang out at the same time. But I was never allowed into Radio 1 because I was too old.
Right.
Oh.
This is weirdly why I got booted out as well.
But there was a sort of, not quite a DNA swab as you went in, but if your DNA was kind of pre-1975,
Yeah.
you just didn't get in, did you?
If you knew what Creedence Clearwater Revival was, they wouldn't let you in.
You're not getting in.
But I thought, I wasn't sure if we were at a dinner together
Could have been. Been to a lot of dinners.
for Emma Freud.
Oh, yes, that case. Yeah, you did. I remember.
When it was Emma's birthday a few years ago when she turned 30,
Yes.
she had, I believe she had a night with the girls and a night with the boys. And she picked a load of girls that she liked and she picked a load of boys that she liked. And she'd invited me to this dinner. Now, normally I wouldn't go to stuff if I don't know people. And it was a real mixture of people.
I remember.
Were you there?
I was there,
I
yeah.
think you were, but I don't know if I got to properly talk to you.
Do you know, Emma's the only person I know who's given her name to Cockney rhyming slang.
Emma Freud.
Emma Freud's for hemorrhoids. Didn't you know?
I love how you explained it.
I've got a case of the odd Emma Freud. Yes, that's true, isn't it?
That's a good thing to have with a
Are
friend.
you allowed to make jokes like that as a reverend?
Well, I'm retired now. I've gone very sort of D-mob potty.
But you've retired from I don't know what the verb would be, reverending?
No, I'm still a reverend, but I've retired from running a parish, so now
Right.
I help out in a parish.
Are you like freelance Rev now?
Well, not really. I'm attached to a team, but I'm retired, so I said to the vicar...
Like a super sub?
Kind of. And I said to her, I'll do anything except go to a meeting. And she said, you're hired. That's all right.
That's like how I work in this place.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not
Absolutely.
really into
anything
meetings.
bar meetings. Yeah.
So I wanted to... Now, one of the things that we're going to talk about is the fact that the Reverend Richard Coles. What do I call you?
Richard.
Richard. Okay, all right. So, Sir Reverend Father
Lord Richard.
They just call me National Treasure. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, you say National Treasure, but
Well.
your tour is the beautifully named Borderline National Trinket.
Yeah.
It's
nice.
your live show.
That came from my late husband, David, because someone said, oh, you're a national treasure to me, and he heard it, which was obviously an open goal. And he said, grudgingly, borderline national trinket,
That's
maybe.
a lovely line.
Great
So it
phrase.
stuck.
Yeah.
So you're going all over the UK. We've got the dates up on the screen. So it's Norwich and Guildford and Richmond and Chester and St Albans and Manchester. The Grand Theatre in Leeds, by the way. That's
yes.
a big place, that is.
Well, you know, I did it. No, it was the big theatre in Halifax I did once, and nobody came. And I said, well, what am I chopped liver? And they said, no, Psychic Sally next door.
Oh.
So all my audience. So we build the tour basically around Psychic Sally's name.
And in this show, you're basically just to tell your stories about the amazing life that you've had.
The ramblings of an old man, basically.
I love this, though.
Well, also because my life, well, to me, it's just my life, but it's an unusual CV. Some of the components don't look like they belong together, and people often ask me about that. So I just talk about it a bit. And then we have Q&A in the second half, and people ask me searching questions. Very facetious, sometimes quite insulting questions.
So your story is, so where were you born? Where were you raised?
Northampton.
Right. Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
You're out now, though.
I know. Well, I raced in Kettering, so, you know.
Oh,
You race?
You know,
James Acaster is from
I know.
Kettering, isn't he? Yeah.
there's James Acaster, and I think Pudsey the Dancing Dog came from Kettering.
Oh,
too.
right. It was
big
Pudsey,
two.
isn't there? Yeah.
They have by the library in the Heritage Quarter, well, the Heritage 8s, as I call it.
Yeah.
They have a sort of timeline of famous Kettering people, but it's like 2 feet long. As big as James A. Casten dog.
Where are you in that trilogy?
For some reason, I don't actually seem to have made it.
Oh, come on now.
Come on, Kettering.
Come on, Kettering.
And so, what was the plan when you were growing up? What did you want to do?
I wanted to get out of Kettering.
Right.
So I did. I managed to get run over, and I got criminal injuries compensation. And that was my ticket to London. So I'm a gay runaway. I mean, no disrespect to Kettering, but in 1978, if you were a gay boy in Kettering, you're thinking it's not going to be the best. There was a unisex hair salon called Michael, but that was it. I think you got mellow birds there. But I realised there's another life, but I couldn't get there until I got run over. So that was a silver lining to that cloud.
So you escaped to London.
Yeah.
And was there a plan, or was the plan just to get out and get to London?
And then at the same time, a little fellow from Glasgow came from I came from like posh public school background, and then I bumped into Jimmy Somerville, who arrived in London at the same time from very poor working class background in Glasgow, and he happened to have one of the best voices of the decade, and I was just hitched my wagon to him and became the unlikeliest pop star of the 1980s.
Well, back it up, because I'm always really interested. How do you meet Jimmy Somerville? What are you doing? What's he doing? I get the fact that you both run away to London.
Well, we met in the coffee shop of London's only gay bookshop. Gay's the Word, it's called, in Marchmont Street, which is still doing a great business, actually, a legendary place. And they had a coffee shop there. So we met there, we became friends. After 6 months, I began to understand what he was saying. And that was a good prelude, because we're very different people, right? But we had this one thing in common, which is that we both wanted a livable life. And the livable life was a life of clubs and dance floors and music.
Right.
So we absorbed all that stuff. And then before you know it, a band happened, Bronski Beat. And then it was one of those things, because they did a gig. Some of a record company was there. They were signed. 2 weeks later, they came out with a record. It went straight to the top of the charts. And then I came into Bronski Beat to play saxophone.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy and I left and formed Communards to bring down Margaret Thatcher by doing cover versions of 70s disco classics.
And it worked.
Where is she now?
Exactly right.
This is not at all well.
Proof's in the pudding.
So you play. So you're musically very talented.
Well, that's nice of you to say so. I played the piano, and I used to play the violin, and I used to play the saxophone. And I taught myself the accordion in lockdown. And if you want to empty a room, just pick up an accordion.
I love a good accordion.
That's a good skill, though, isn't it?
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how deep into Bronski Beat at the time when Jimmy asked you to join? They'd made it at that point.
They were just about to go on a worldwide tour supporting an artist called Madonna. So it was a big do. And then Jimmy decided he didn't want to do it with his customary firm grip on the financial realities. He didn't want to do it. He wasn't happy. He wanted to work with someone who sort of believed what he believed. He didn't want to be a pop star. He wanted to do our thing. And so we did something completely different. But the trouble is, Jimmy was so brilliant, so talented. We just sort of couldn't stop being pop stars. And believe you me, if ever there was a break on anyone being a pop star, it was me.
So how old were you when you and Jimmy talked about the Communards?
22, 23.
And were you comfortable with... Were you more comfortable with going, yeah, I could be on stage and play in front of thousands of people?
Very comfortable.
You were?
Yes, that was not a problem. Put on a spotlight. Spotlights are for me what spring rain is to flowers.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Write this stuff down. This is great.
This is
beautiful.
Absolutely.
And the success of the Communards was huge. Arguably bigger than Bronski Beat.
Yeah, it was. I think Bronski Beat was the better band, actually, but Communards sold more records.
Well, Bronski Beat was fascinating, because I was growing up, I was getting into music and at that point, and the songs of Bronski Beat were so different.
Yeah, nobody'd really heard a male voice sing like that, I don't think, before. It was so unusual, wasn't it? Such a voice.
And like Small Town Boy,
great record,
which is it's a great pop record, but then equally It Ain't Necessarily So, which is a very, very obscure sounding, beautiful song, but became a massive hit. It was just like, it just worked.
I mean, Jimmy just had this almost supernatural gift. He could do anything. He never had a lesson, never took care of his voice. We could just say to him, let's just sing that impossible thing, and he'd go, well, that one, and he would just do it. Yeah. And he had this I think the other thing, what's a great voice? I think a great voice, this is true of pop music, it's true of jazz, it's true of opera, is a voice which sort of contains a paradox. It's like it's an impossible thing with Jimmy's. The paradox is it was both simultaneously very powerful and very vulnerable. And to have those two things together is really rare. And when it resonated, I remember hearing him sing for the first time, and the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I thought, this guy is going to be amazing.
And his voice is, because I watched a couple of videos of him singing from a couple of years ago. You'd think it's a lot of effort and strain on the vocal cords, but when he sings, he doesn't make the face of he's belting it out. He makes the face of someone like he's basically humming.
Well, you know, because he learnt music. He had an auntie who married a GI, this in Glasgow, after the war. Went back to be a GI bride in, I think, Florida. Marriage didn't work out. She came home, brought a pile of Motown records with her. Jimmy was a little guy with red hair. He was called a Jessie. He was really bullied, had a tough time growing up. But he was close to the auntie, and she used to do the housework, and he would help. And she put on the Motown records, and he sang along. And that was his education.
It is amazing, isn't it? And so then you two find each other. And was the Communards a 50-50 split of you and Jimmy?
Well, yes, technically, although in terms of talent, I mean, I think really I was Jimmy's accompanist would be my version of it, but yeah, it was a 50-50 split.
Such a great band. I love the Communards.
Thank you.
I love the Communards. And I know, obviously, but like, You Are My World is such a great song.
Great song.
Do you know the piano, the fiddly piano bit?
I love all the fiddly piano bits.
Do you want me to play it?
Sure.
Oh, come on, Richard.
Of course. Lovely.
Wow.
Well, a little bit inaccurate, you know.
It's so good.
Oh, thank you so much. You make the whole man very happy.
And normally just at weekends. The other thing that I said, we talked about you before, and I said, if you ever come in, I've got to ask you about. So you did Don't Leave Me This Way.
Yes.
With the cover version.
Yeah.
I've got the 12-inch on vinyl.
Became a huge hit.
Yeah.
Worldwide hit.
Yeah.
Arguably bigger than the original version.
I think it was the biggest selling single in 1986, or in some places it was.
Wow.
Yeah, that was great. Still get I got a royalty statement from Ecuador for 64p.
Well done.
It's being used in a Pilates class in Quito. A gift that keeps on giving.
So when I was getting into music and I was listening to the radio and taping songs, you know, off the charts and all that, like you do, and buying music, that song to me, it just worked. Jimmy's voice and Sarah Jane's voice and just everything, and the musicianship and your piano playing was just lovely. And this is what I love here. Well, stop, because that's the single version.
Oh, yes. The 12-inch.
Yeah.
Then I hear the full version, and that... Let me play it first, because this is... If you've never... Oh, I'm talking over it. So instead of going like this, which everybody knows, it actually goes like this.
By me.
Now,
You're asking.
now. See, so I'm prepared. So here's what I've got.
You want me to have a go?
Try it.
Which bit? Both of it?
Whatever you want to do. Yeah, you're right. You can't play anymore.
There you go. Old man fingers. Now I like to explore the microtonal possibilities of that piece.
I like that.
That's right.
It's funny, isn't it, with age, when you just, when you're really young, you've got no ceiling, and you're like, yeah, great. And it never dawned on you when you're in the studio recording that going, I'll never be able to play that live.
No, but do you know what, Chris? I've got my first piano recital in 50 years next month.
Really?
I'm playing 2 pieces at the Ludlow Piano Festival, yeah. So I'm playing stuff I played actually when I was a teenager, when I was probably technically at my best.
Do you play at home?
Yeah, a lot. Every day when I'm at home. I play.
You do?
Yeah. It's my favourite thing, actually, cooking, playing the piano, walking the dog if I have a dog.
All at the same time?
Not so much, no. But my last dog, they've died now, but my last dog went deaf and blind and demented. But if I was playing the piano, he used to curl himself round the pedals because he could feel the vibration.
Oh.
That sounds like a Lionel Richie video, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Sort of thing.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know.
And can you hear a piece of music and go, yeah, I've got that now, I can play it? Oh, really?
No, I'm a dots man. I have to have the dots. I have to look at it and work it out, like if I was reading something.
That's what Pippa says. Pippa got to grade 8, but she said she's no good. She's better with sheet music.
Sheet music. Yeah, to read.
Music.
Yeah.
Well, now you can download it on your iPad, can't you? It's easy peasy now.
Yeah, you can actually, yeah. I do wish I'd learned by ear, though, because I think you have more freedom.
But that's because when I started off classical and then went into pop music, because in pop music, I did play by ear then, because it's a completely different way of playing.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah. And then I tried to get the two together.
That is still
so hard.
Such a remarkable thing. I'll get the drums off. Do you remember recording this in the studio?
It was recorded by Mike Thorne, and we recorded it in New York on a synclavier, cutting-edge technology then. And I was playing the piano in the studio, and then a couple of years ago I was in Brussels. I went to the Musical Instrument Museum in Brussels, which is you must see. And there in a glass case was a synclavier. And it's become a museum piece.
Wow.
And then it was cutting-edge technology.
Yeah.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then the Communards finished.
Yes.
And
we
then
didn't finish, actually. We took a break, but we're still on it.
Oh, okay. Now, I saw an interview with you, and I don't know what you want to say, but I saw an interview with you from a couple of years ago, and they asked you, are you and Jimmy still in touch? And you went, well, we're getting to the age now where we only ever speak to each other to inform them that somebody we know has passed away.
Yeah, we're in the condolence stage of our friendship.
But you don't live that massively far away from each other, am I right?
No, the rule that all gays in bands in the 1980s sink through gravity to the south coast of England.
Right.
So basically everyone in the Communards now lives between Chichester and Hastings. And, I'm near Eastbourne and Jim is in Brighton. But Jimmy lives a very quiet, reclusive life now. I mean, Jimmy's lived an extraordinary life.
Yeah.
And in his maturity, he's found a way of living with a certain degree of, I think, repose and calm. So he's retired, does a lot of gardening. He volunteers 2 days in a food bank. And
wow.
He lives a quiet life. And no one lived a noisier life than Jimmy. And, that's something entirely to respect, isn't it? What a livable life might look like for him.
How much would it take to get you guys back on stage together?
Well, we get asked all the time, and we came within a whisker of it, actually, a while ago for a charity thing. But in the end, I don't know, leave it there,
No, you're wrong. You're wrong, because I saw someone, I've seen you being asked this before, and you're like, no, it's in the past. The 80s belongs in the 80s. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. Well, I want to see it. Make it happen.
I mean, I was a big audience for it and everything, but the real driver of bands reforming? It's HMRC. Yeah. It's people get used to living high on the hog, and then there's a new streaming model, and they want 2p, and they have to pay their tax bills, so that works.
Let me read out some messages before we let you go. I didn't think it was possible to love the Reverend Richard anymore, but wow, what a gent and humble man. I'm 100% buying tickets to see him, says Jim in Lichfield.
Oh, it's my mate Tim.
Well, if you go to richardcoles.com, you can get all the web dates, all the tour dates on there. Goosebumps listening to Richard play the piano this morning. Incredible, says Adam in Swindon. Richard says, I have the biggest smile on my face, says, look at that. You are brilliant, Richard, says Andy in Cardiff. The more I see him, the more I hear of his background, the more I love him.
Yeah. These are the people who aren't on X, right?
No, they love you.
There's a lot of love for you.
Well, that's very nice. I'll take all the love that's coming my way. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna wrap this interview up. You really enjoyed being in the jungle, didn't you?
Yeah, I know you didn't, Chris.
No.
I absolutely loved it. But then I've only got one superpower, and it's eating cockroaches, basically. And there's not much call for that, but in the jungle.
Yeah.
So that was good. And also, it was a lovely bunch of people, and me and G.K. Barry. I was going in on, I think I'm going to get a bromance out of this, because, you always do. And my bromance was with a 25-year-old lesbian influencer. So that was good. And I came out, my niece said to me, "God, Uncle Tricky, finally you're cool."
Oh,
that was
that's
good.
Well, you were lucky. You can't be. I had Matt Hancock, so,
Yeah.
You just roll that dice and see what happens.
Can I just say, Chris?
Oh.
Please.
Yeah.
I just a shout out for Chorley, who are in the playoffs tonight.
Kings
against
Lynn
Kings
tonight.
Lynn, yeah. And I just wish all the very best to Chorley, and especially to Victor the Magpie, their mascot, who's my brother-in-law, Mark.
I love that. That's great. How long has he done that for?
Well, actually, do you know what? I think I'm not supposed to say that.
Okay.
But anyway, quite a long time.
He's been a friend of the mascot.
Do you mean he looks after the mascot? He's like the manager.
Yeah, he keeps him at home.
That's right. Well, good luck to Charlie tonight. You said you had 2 teams. What's the other team? I'm going to hate this.
Well, it's Arsenal.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, well then, good luck in
another big
the
night
Champions
tonight,
League.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Indeed, you think perhaps that should be a priority over playoffs?
No. Well, listen, I'm a Leeds United fan, so it's like,
Well, do you know what? The last game I was invited to was Leeds Swansea at Ellen Road with Matt Lewis, Neville Longbottom.
I know Matt well.
He's playing Daniel Clement in the TV adaptation of My Murder Mysteries.
Is he?
Yeah, big Leeds fan, and he almost got me there, but I managed to think of an excuse at the last minute.
Yeah, we're in I've never met him, but I'm in a very strange, eclectic WhatsApp group of Leeds United fans, of which he's in it. So.
I've always liked Leeds. It's a team I've always felt good about. But last time I saw them, it was when Alan Smith was playing. So I played Chelsea.
God, love Alan Smith.
It was a lively game.
Yeah, I bet it was. Lovely to see you. What a lovely chat. I wish I could do this for much longer.
Oh,
Stuff
great.
I found out about Rich. I found a brilliant video of you interviewing Tom Hanks in 1988.
Blimey. That was a do. He was charming.
And it's so lovely. You're both, it's from another time. I mean, you're like baby faces are the pair of you, but it's a lovely thing to watch because with the greatest respect, it's so beautifully awkward.
Awkward? No. I didn't know who he was.
If you want to go and see Richard live on his tour, go to richardcoles.com, which is nice and simple. It is the Borderline National Trinket Tour. Have a great tour.
Thanks, Chris.
Come back anytime. Good luck to Charlie tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the Reverend Richard Coles.
Thank you very much.
Radio X.